Whoever wins this game goes to land. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in because I am just as curious as you are. Picks and bans for game 2, SoaR versus eLevate.
So SoaR with the first pick this time. We'll see if they want to go for something like Susano. We saw Brochacho on Terra in their previous set. They didn't win that game, but overall the pressure that Terra brought, I think, was worth the pick. Freya going to be the first ban, keeping that away from Keegs.
No surprise there. Guan Yu banned out as well. Sustain King.
Sustain King, that's the name of the game. Vulcan banned away. Don't want to give that to Niqued, though Niqued did have a very, very strong performance on that Giannis, looking very comfortable already in the middle lane, and they're willing to give up Terra, it looks like. eLevate leaving Terra open. We'll see if SoaR wants to pick it here.
Terra, Fafnir, Nemesis, Ao Kuang. The list is endless, and Terra will get picked up first by SoaR.
So we don't know if this is going to be support or solo, because we've also seen Uzzy run Terra solo for SoaR so far this split. So this is a flex pick right now for SoaR. So not only is it one of the top picks in Smite, but you don't know exactly where it's going if you're eLevate.
But because they couldn't ban out that Odin, Odin is going to get picked up to try and negate that damage inside the cage, or negate the healing inside the cage.
Susano picked for Jumpahhh, and like we mentioned last time, I think a lot of the trouble that he had in the early game was because of that Wrath pickup. And without the Athena, it's not going to be as big of a deal. However, the CC from Terra is very, very high as well. So we'll see if he wants to forego the early purification like he did in game 1 of this set. Now SoaR has got a lot of options right now. Mid lane, ADC, whatever you want to do. Batz is going to be the pick here for Chapo.
If StormyRays is comfortable with Jingwei, I would love to see a Jingwei Terra lane. Because if that goes into the duo lane, that would be absolutely disgusting. Instead, we are going to see, more than likely, Shaliber Zhong.
I love this draft so far from SoaR. It's got a ton of lockdown. It's got a ton of CC. It's got enough damage. Right. It doesn't have a ton of damage.
But it's got enough right now.
It's got enough right now, and now you can look to pick your either Guardian or Solo, wherever Terra's not going, as well as your Hunter to augment that damage that you need. The Zhong, total comfort pick for Shaliber, loves playing it, is able to get away with some of his positioning issues that he seems to have had thus far on Zhong because of the big tanky nature of the Demon King. And so we also saw Chapo on Batz up against Aware earlier today, and he played great on this character. He played very, very well. It seems to be a character that he's been working on and feels comfortable on right now.
And I feel like being able to use your Batz ultimates not only as offensive but also defensive, just to, just having that not even like losing that pride and just throwing it down, not even being worried to keep running. I think that's huge. You also need to use your ults defensively, and not many people do that.
It's a huge part. I mean, Batz is the ult king. He's got one of the best ults in the game, if not the best ultimate in the game. Fear No Evil just does so much for you in so many different ways. Like you mentioned, could be used defensively to keep yourself from getting chased down and killed. We saw Jelly use it a lot like that, I believe, in the Eager set, as well as using it offensively to engage, to blow purification. No shortage of ways to use that great ult.
Kumbhakarna picked up for eLevate. I was wondering if they were going to pull this out. I like Kumbhakarna. I like Sobek a little better for doing the same thing, but Kumbha is a lot more of the guarantee. You know exactly where they're coming down. They're mez. It's not a knockup versus you don't know where they're going to land. You have to guess. It's a lot of guaranteed wombo combo coming out from eLevate.
But there's no wombo to the combo right now for eLevate.
Now.
There's not a whole lot of big damage ultimate.
Okay, there it is.
And there it is. There's a Scylla. That's the wombo to the combo that you want for Kumbhakarna, like you were mentioning, going for the Scylla. And so the Fafnir Neith rounds it out for SoaR. I honestly don't know who's going solo. Normally it would be Terra, but Uzzy loves playing Fafnir in the solo lane, and maybe he'll do it. I mean, we saw Chung up mid last game. Who knows?
No, it could go either way. I like seeing Terra in the support role, but I would rather see her solo and see Fafnir in the support, because
you're gonna get what you want. Uzzy gonna command this Terra into the solo lane. I
don't like Fafnir solo. I don't like it.
It looks like SoaR likes to go for the invade right now, or just grouping up as 5, making sure they can place their wards down effectively. So it's going to be Neith and Fafnir in the duo lane up against Kumbhakarna and Sol. The push power from both of these duo lanes is pretty strong. Neith is not the typical ADC you see paired with Fafnir. You usually want a late game hyper carry that can make the most out of the coerce buff, and Neith is really the early game pick-off hunter. This is a straight-up pick composition for SoaR. The global pressure that they have is insane with World Weaver and Terra's Blessing. eLevate have to be very careful with their positioning this game, because if they're cut out in the jungle, they'll get chased down, Neith ulted, whatever they need to get the kill.
So I like this mid lane between Zhong and Scylla. They're these two guys we don't see all that often. How come we don't see a lot of Scylla in the SEO?
Just no early pressure whatsoever. The lane clear takes far too long to get online, and it's really difficult to protect your own buffs and make the rotations around the map that you need to make to keep up with the enemy mid laner. However, the good news for Scylla here is that Zhong's push power isn't great either. It's the same sort of reason that he doesn't get picked, is because you can just basically invade on his team constantly. Very surprised to not see a shell picked up here for Kumbhakarna. That does so well up against the Zhong ultimate. It would have been a great pickup here. And right there, we saw a little bit of a tell. Niqued got his root at level 2. And so if I'm Shaliber, I'm telling Chapo, we can kill Scylla. She has no escape until level 3. And even then, a lot of Scylla's at level 3 will put a second point into their crush because it helps your wave clear so much. If Niqued gets greedy here and puts a second point into crush, he'll have to wait until level 4 to get that sentinel escape.
Yep, so you're going to have to be very careful, especially now that we have the rotations coming back in for the mid lane. Niqued has hit level 3, did put the extra point into crush, so we're not going to see that escape potential until later on. Meanwhile, over in the duo lane, StormyRays taking a lot of damage, barely getting out, getting low, going to have to heal back up over time.
That's not what you want as Neith. You do not want to be pushed under tower, but because of the Transcendence start, you will have 3 of each potion. You'll be able to heal up fairly easily, as well as, of course, the Unravel from Neith, giving you excellent sustain in lane.
Mid Harpies are split, no real surprise there. The big surprise is that eLevate able to take those fire imps, so that it's going to put them a little bit ahead over SoaR Gaming. Every little bit counts.
And that's because of the lack of lane push from Terra. There's not a whole lot of lane pressure on the mid and right-hand side of the map for SoaR. It really should be this left side dictating the push and the pressure in the early game, but usually you want your pressure to be in the solo lane side in the early game, because those fire elementals, they only spawn for the first 10 minutes, and they're so important and can give you such an excellent golden experience lead in the mid, jungle, and solo side. So usually you'll see teams favor early game pressure on the right-hand side as opposed to the left-hand side like SoaR have this game.
Instead, we're going to see a little bit of pressure coming onto the left-hand side with the rotation of Jumpahhh. However, SoaR Gaming are pretty deep down, close to their tower, so they're not really going to have that opportunity for Jumpahhh to come and snag them out.
No wards. This is just game knowledge, knowing that they're in danger of getting ganked on this left-hand side, as well as now not seeing him in mid lane, and it's going to be a Fear No Evil just to burn the purification from Niqued. That ultimate was not being used to try and get a kill there. That was exclusively for that cooldown on the relic.
Exactly, and then she's going to be a sitting duck. Yeah, she has Sentinel, but there's a Neith on the board.
Exactly. World Weaver to Fear No Evil is death instantly for Niqued, so he has to be very careful for the next 120 seconds, has to position himself perfectly up against this sort of pick composition that SoaR is running.
Most people are afraid to use their ultimates because they know they're going to get beated out, but you still need to use it because that cooldown is going to be shorter than the relic. You're still going to have that free opportunity later on.
Exactly. You can't be scared to use your ult just because it might not, get the kill. There's always something that you can get from it as long as you're using it in the right spots, and right there was definitely the correct spot for Chapo to burn purification, because with the buffs coming up, it opens up some invade potential. It doesn't look like they want to go for one on the right-hand side or the left with both the dual lane members backing for SoaR, but it opens up a lot around the Gold Fury. You can contest over wards, you can contest over the mid camps very, very well with those purification on cooldown for the next 90 seconds.
So what are you expecting out of the solo lane? Because I know Terra isn't going to be able to dish out as much damage, but she's going to be able to sustain everything that Odin throws out. It kind of feels like a stalemate.
Except for the fact that Odin does have some kill potential. Yes, I agree with you. Odin has kill potential because there's no way for Terra to get out of that cage. And so Odin can really try and bully her. Exactly. She cannot heal using that monolith inside the cage. So Uzzy has to be very careful and very respectful of that ring of spears, because if he gets caught with a minion wave hitting him, he's going to be in trouble.
I guess it probably would have been better to switch out Chacho and Uzzy, but at this point, it's a little too late now. That anti-heal coming out from that Odin, I didn't even think about it till I saw Odin on the solo side.
Well, Uzzy's okay with letting the waves come under tower. You can see he's not even stepping up to contest. It looks like SoaR's going to contest on the left-hand side, posturing around these left side mid-harpies, looking to pick a fight.
I like the positioning coming out from both teams, so they're going to back off. Not going to see anything coming out on the left-hand side, but Uzzy putting down the monolith at the exact middle of the lane, so all those damage ticks are still going to hit every single minion.
Chapo picking up those fire elementals, and Uzzy getting that experience in gold as well, helping him out with making sure that he can get the farm that he needs to be relevant whenever he comes over in these team fights with that sustain, as well as just getting points into Terra's Blessing. Leveling up that ultimate to lower the cooldown as well as up the effectiveness of it is going to be very important for Uzzy. It's one of the benefits of having Terra in the solo lane.
eLevate sniffing around this Gold Fury. They're really the only ones that have been until now. We saw Fafnir take a look at it. They're going to be warding, dancing around it. We may see a little bit more of a fast-paced game. Faster pace game than last one, all things considered. We're 5 minutes and 24 seconds in. We don't have the first blood yet, but I think these team comps are going to be centered more around taking these big objectives in these fights versus passive farming.
Both of these teams are okay with farming for a little bit, though I would like to see SoaR start to force the issue a little bit more if possible, just because they have that Neith in the duo lane, which is so much stronger in the early game than Soul. This is the time to fight if you're SoaR.
Chacho knows that they're already looking at this Gold Fury once again. He sees them taking out that ward. He's going to go back to the rest of his team and then safely go change that out later. But right now, rotation's back to the mid lane because eLevate's starting to put pressure once again. We just see these 3v3s all the time.
Shaliber is just chilling, man. He's got 0 player damage right now. There's a whopping combined 43 damage between the two mid laners right now, and that's the early game weakness of both of these that's being seen.
Yeah, but that is the Terra ultimate, so a little bit of a. Oh, I see what they were trying to do. That was a little bit of a movement speed. StormyRays used the ultimate, hit Kumbhakarna, but the rest of the team wasn't there to try and take advantage of it.
Chapo was trying to get in position to use the Fear No Evil to push him out of tower range, but Rippin immediately recognized what SoaR was trying to do and got into tower range. So that's 2 ultimates down that eLevate can take advantage of. They don't have to worry about any sort of global pressure now from SoaR.
I would have gone the other direction because at that point you're able to see the rocks floating around the enemy. They know that that's been popped. They see you moving faster. I would have waited, had that Neith ultimate, and then popped it.
There's a couple ways you could have done it. I think that they popped the Terra's Blessing so that Chapo could try and get in position a little bit easier and not be as concerned about making sure he can catch up. It just didn't work out overall for SoaR. So instead, they're just going to back up and farm up some buffs.
Yep, that plan didn't work. It's okay, scrap it and keep going. Going to secure their own blue buff, although it did look like Odin wanted to jump in. Instead, going to go ahead and back off. You don't want to make any kind of rash plays.
No, but Terra right now is sitting about 200 gold down. That's a perfect position for her to be in the solo lane. Chapo going to TP in, looking for a little bit of damage. At least someone is at this point. Chapo on top with 925
yeah,
during the
Yeah,
game.
but look, Shaliber has 180 now.
Hey,
that's
he hit a card.
He did, yes.
He hit a card. Oh, there we go. There's some damage. Niqued jumps right up to the top with 1 crush. That's the stuff.
My goodness, right there. We're really chomping at the bit here. 7 minutes and 59 seconds. No first blood yet because there's so much on the table for these teams.
Brochacho's in a little bit of trouble here. Jumped in, used it, root off the mark. Brochacho taking a lot of damage. Still no ultimate for him. There it is. Fear No Evil in time. There's the knockup, but the ultimate from Niqued is late. Where was it? Now Shaliber's going to get the first blood.
Shaliber gets first blood. Rippin Hole's going to not be followed through. Shaliber going to go ahead and back off because KeegsMate is here as well. Not going to find the card onto the Disapparate, but instead just farm up, and back off. Perfect
setup for Shaliber, and he just wasn't there. He wasn't on the mark. That had to be first blood for them. Instead, Shaliber, or Niqued wasn't on the mark, excuse me. Shaliber was popping the recall demons, going in hard in the middle lane, getting the stun onto Jumpahhh. The purification was down because of the Fear No Evil earlier from Chapo, and it's Shaliber on this Zhong getting that first blood about 8 minutes into the game and extending that gold lead that he had already built for himself up a little bit farther.
It's been a slow game thus far, but I don't expect it to stay that way for long. 1.5k experience and a little over 1,000 gold in favor of SoaR Gaming. When I say a little, I mean a little bit.
Interesting build choice, it looks like, coming out of Niqued. That Enchanted Trinket can either build into Polynomicon, which wouldn't be good because it scales off your power and it's not going to be hitting for a whole lot because she doesn't have a lot of power right now, or Divine Ruin, which would make Scylla's steep power curve even more difficult to deal with.
SoaR Gaming have already done more collective damage onto the Gold Fury than the rest of the team combined and able to take the objective for themselves. Now they want to go ahead and try to punish Rippin Holes for even thinking about zoning. Chapo getting credit for the kill.
That's more like it. A little bit of action for us viewers at home. A Gold Fury and the second kill of the game go the way of SoaR, and that's just the utilization of the Wrath. Uzzy hits 12 and immediately teleports to Gold Fury. eLevate's not ready for it because Uzzy had just backed and hit level 12. It isn't in their mind that he's got the teleport ready to go, but instead he teleports there, has the Wrath available, they pull it, Rippin is there to contest, but it doesn't matter. He can't secure it over that Wrath damage, and then he dies for it as well.
So the gold lead continues to soar in favor of SoaR, looking a little over 2,000 right there, and experience 2.5k. Just a little bit extra. Every little bit counts. We're starting to get there slowly, getting that momentum.
Getting a little bit of action going. That's all I'm rooting for right now. It's sitting most members of SoaR at level 12. Only BroChacho sitting at level 10. Rippin's the only one yet to join the double digits club in levels. And like I was about to say, going for Divine Ruin here for Scylla would be a mistake. It takes so long for that damage to become relevant for her that it would only extend that. Chapo blinking in, fear no evil, but Rippin was able to get out a little bit. But the great teleport in, the overhand smash in the card. Great play there between SoaR and Chapo.
Absolutely. SoaR going to be able to take that next kill, 2 on the board for the rest of his team. And now a little bit of extra pressure because they took out Niqued. That Scylla going to continue to get stunted through. She's not going to be able to hit that massive amount of damage that you normally see early on.
And she did go for the Divine Ruin, so now even though that damage already being stunted because of the fact that she's 0-1 and having a tough time farming, but now the Divine Ruin as well. Ultimate from Rippin purified away. He went in all by himself. BroChacho gets the kill. Now Jumpahhh going in.
Jumpahhh going in, but the purification not going to stun him out. The demon's going to follow, but it's not going to be enough damage, but it was hella close.
McWafflez making the rotation in. Keegs in a tough spot coming into the entire team right here. Double card, the cage gonna help him out. Here comes the I'm a monster, but not enough damage thanks to that Divine Ruin. SoaR getting pounded by that supernova, but is able to escape with 1 HP.
And Chacho jumps over, trying to help out, gets a little bit of damage onto the enemy team, but then backs off to help out the rest of his team. You don't want to lose SoaR.
No, he's doing a lot for your team right now, up 900 gold on his opposition. And it's been him and Chapo really been the two who have been making things happen for SoaR, both of them with 2-level leads and around 900 gold leads as well over the opposition. It's been the mid-jungle synergy for SoaR looking good thus far.
Uzzy gonna miss the walls. Instead, go ahead and back off, head back to the right side to farm. eLevate sitting with no kills. We're 12 minutes and 25 seconds in, 4-0. Where eLevate?
They're farming. Their late game composition is excellent. The late game potential between SoaR and Scylla is enough to overcome a lead of 3, 4, even 5,000 gold without a whole lot of worry, as long as they can get late enough to get the damage items online. But now, with the builds that both of these hyper carries have gone, the Dynasty Plate Helm is going to slow down the damage from SoaR, and the Divine Ruin is really going to slow down the damage from Scylla. And it's not like Uzzy's going to be in the fights this early anyways. Going for this now, just, again, I've said it a lot already, but I'm not a fan. Now going to go for a Book of Thoth or a Soul Reaver is going to delay his penetration even more. Both of those items are expensive. It's going to be a little bit longer before we see Niqued doing relevant damage.
We can't ignore the player damage, though. Jumpahhh, he's second at the bottom. Hold on.
What? Hello?
I wanted to cast that, but it's already over.
Where did he go? He just disappeared. He even used his purification, but he died anyways. That was unbelievable, that damage.
Okay, so it's gonna keep going. KeegsMate in the disapparate, not gonna get that Neith ultimate. Instead, gonna keep going. But SoaR Gaming still want to aggress onto this damage camp, teleport right back through, and try to aggress onto Jumpahhh. And speaking of Jumpahhh, look at his player damage. He's third from the bottom.
Not doing it right now, and Keegs not doing it in the duo lane, just trying to get out of danger. Is able to disappear thanks to the disapparate. There's going to be another tower for SoaR. Tier 1 tower on the left's going to fall.
Yep, and it's going to fall fast. There's absolutely nothing that eLevate can do about that tower. Rippin is the only one here, but SoaR Gaming aren't going to press that hard. They still want to take from the jungle, because all eLevate are doing are farming, so take that away. Force them. We're going to pigeonhole you into fighting us.
McWafflez backs after putting pressure on this tier 1 tower on the right-hand side, and then immediately teleports in to confirm the kill on the tower, but this means that he doesn't have the teleport to contest the Gold Fury that's about to spawn. He didn't need to teleport to that. He could have just stayed and gotten the tower without using that very important relic, but instead he burns it, and now he's got to make the rotation without keeping and staying farming on the right-hand side like he could have if he would have saved the TP.
And Uzzy's waiting, but at this point we are going to see everybody, or at least almost everybody, not the junglers, rotate over to the left side because Gold Fury is up.
You actually see Chapo on the right-hand side, McWafflez in the middle of 4, but it doesn't really matter. He's level 16, and Chapo, like I mentioned, on this right-hand side, picking up some farm, just letting him continue to get even farther ahead of Jumpahhh. He likes to do this. He tells Uzzy, you go and play pretend jungler for a couple minutes while I extend my lead in the solo lane. Getting that farm all by himself is going to make him that much more potent whenever he comes back to the team fights.
SoaR turned the corner, saw about half of eLevate, decided to go right back into his tower. They're going to start sifting through the enemy jungle to take what they can, but the cage is coming up. Uzzy stuck in the middle. Supernova going to come through, but mainly just hit places where gods can't even go. We're not even going to see that much damage coming out. Chacho going to try to dish it out, however, jumping forward, able to take out Niqued, who I'm not really sure was there in the first place. Jumpahhh going to get chased. No card on him this time, so we're not going to see the death.
Yeah, what was that from Niqued? He was standing up and I'm a monster. Uzzy was rooted in place forever in that cage, but he didn't find it. Fear no evil coming out on Keegs. No purification. Chapo picks up the kill. McWafflez and Rippin gonna have to try and retreat, but the body blocks are great.
And the card continued to tick down the shield damage, but it's not going to be enough to take him out. He's barely going to get out of damage, but that is the passive proc coming out from Kumbhakarna. One more hit, and Chapo finds the kill.
Now the rest of SoaR just backing up. It looks like they actually want to try and take this tier 2 tower here on the duo lane side, and this is going to make Keegs that much more vulnerable. Keeg going Doomorb, third item here, recognizing himself that his team was lacking damage and that they needed some, but so getting the cheap damage from Doomorb makes sense, but it's really, really bad if you can't stack it quickly, and getting that death there, resetting those stacks back to 10, not a great situation for eLevate as a whole right now. Still with the goose egg in the kill department.
What would you have built in place of that so you wouldn't lose any kind of stacks?
I would have built Telkine's Ring. I would have gone for just auto attack damage. Yes, it isn't nearly as much damage as Doomorb, but overall you're still playing for the late game with this composition for eLevate. You're not going to be able to contest in the early game or in the mid game. This is where the weakness of the composition you've drafted really starts to hurt you, and you just have to accept that. You have to understand that this is the part of the game where you're going to struggle and just wait it out, play for the part that you know you'll excel, which is in about 10 minutes or so. But at this rate, eLevate's not going to survive another 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some struggling happening right now. Gold Fury is almost down, going to be taken pretty easily by SoaR Gaming. I see absolutely no way that eLevate could take that. And with that objective kill, we're 17 minutes and 25 seconds in, over 6,000 gold in favor of SoaR Gaming. 8 kills up. And eLevate haven't even put themselves on the board yet.
It's still SoaR and Chapo in the mid and jungle. SoaR has been a part of every single kill. Chapo, 7 of the 8, looking very impressive. Brochacho as well, 2, 0, and 6, part of all 8 kills. And these are the comfort picks that you don't want to give to a team like SoaR, specifically SoaR, who's looked shaky on certain gods, but has looked excellent on this Zhong. As soon as the Susano was locked in for eLevate and they didn't have any worries about the Nemesis, Zhong was the obvious pick.
Well, mid lane gets bullied, so why not get something that's hard to bully? He's innately tanky, and plus once you add on any kind of defensive item, it's that much harder to take him down.
Exactly. Going for this Gem of Isolation as well gives him extra health, extra mana, makes it that much harder for you to get away from him. He's going to take a little bit of damage here, but not a whole lot.
And don't forget the amount of healing that he does just for himself, soaking up those cards. Here comes the demons, though, being unleashed. Fafnir bringing out the dragon just to try and help out. Rippin is going to use that epic uppercut onto SoaR, but he's not going to be able to take him out. Instead, we're going to see Chapo trying to get away. The monkey is getting very, very low. McWafflez, however, feeling the burn coming out from Chacho, and that's going to be eLevate completely disengaging.
Chapo's out. Everyone from eLevate is out. It's a wash, but here, Uzzy has the sustain, whereas no sustain on the side of eLevate, and it's going to allow them to siege up this tier 1 tower on the right-hand side. Teleport is coming in from Odin, but I don't know if he can defend against 4. No, he decides,
no,
that's a lost cause. I'm just going to jump out and save my life for now.
No, if anything, he wanted to be there when Niqued rotated back over as well. So at that point, it wouldn't be 1 person there, it'd be 2. And you don't want to fight into McWafflez quite yet, because it's harder to kill him than it is Niqued.
Exactly. Keegs on the left-hand side, though, able to bully Neith out of lane and snag up that tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. gaining them a little bit of gold. McWafflez going to take some poke here. Actually, Shalibur's here as well. Here comes the Neith ult. McWafflez is in trouble.
Yeah, but he's got that cage saving him a little bit of time because they can't run through it, but they do have the jump. Terra, the only one with Uzzy that's not going to be able to come and press the issue. McWafflez going to get stunned back, the CC for days, and eventually he's going to fall. Chacho getting credit.
Late Sanctuary from Jumpahhh. Luckily for him, the overhand smash was just out of range, but Stormy making this rotation into mid. Keegs really just prefers to play his own sort of game on the dual lane side, continuing to split push for the second game. Why is Stormy backing now, though? I mean, I guess he's backing to defend the Phoenix in case Keegs wants to keep pushing it, but Keegs is back. He's got
gonna
what he
teleport!
wanted.
He's gonna teleport, but he's not gonna be able to make it to Jumpahhh. He was so close.
Batz is one of those gods that has so much outplay potential, and Chapo, we saw it for the first blood in the middle lane. An awesome teleport, or no, it was a second kill. An awesome teleport, gets the overhand smash, and allowed Shaliber to pick up that last hit with the card, making a huge impact. 3-0-4, top of the player damage charts. This is what you want in your do or die game, in your game that determines who goes to land, win or lose. You gotta let your star players play like stars, and Chapo's played like a star in this game.
And I mean, it's the same kind of mechanic that Jumpahhh uses on Susano with the teleport. It works the same way, but people didn't really use it as much until it became a main part of Susano's kit. And now that we see it, we get to see these awesome plays and these awesome moments where they really start to shine.
Looks like a couple people on this right-hand side for eLevate, just making sure that they can pick up as much farm as possible. StormyRays just picking up some farm in the left-hand side all by himself because he's able to affect the team fight from a distance with that World Weaver. Jumpahhh gonna come over and just, give him a little hello, see what's going on, make sure that he isn't pushing too much, but because there's no towers left on that left-hand side, there's nothing for him to really do. In fact, we're 21 minutes in, eLevate is down 9-0, yes, but they've only got 3 towers left to take on the side of SoaR. It's the tower push that's keeping them in the game.
And I mean, you get gold from that. That's nice. But that's not the only thing. That's actually, yeah, I guess that is the only thing keeping him in this game. I was trying.
It's a ton of gold right now. Chapo blinks in and uses the Fear No Evil. Niqued in a ton of trouble, gets deleted immediately by StormyRays.
Here comes the Demon. Shaliber looking to bring on the damage. Chacho bringing on the Dragon as well. KeegsMate getting so low, trying to get into that Disapparate. The card not going to connect, so not going to be able to find that last tick, but they are going to be able to take down the tier 2 tower and then keep the fight going. They're going to jump right out of the cage.
They're looking at Rippin holes, but everyone else is still stuck in that ring of spears. Everyone from eLevate's low, but they were able to get back and heal. Huge Coerce hits all 5 members. Big Typhoon hits 4, though.
Yep, and that Coerce is still going to do absolute damage. The Phoenix is going to fall. We're not even going to see that much of a retaliation coming out from eLevate because they can't afford it.
No, nothing they can do. Just SoaR is so far ahead right now, and look, they're still willing to fight. It's a 3v5. Yes, we're low, but they have the sustain from the Terra monolith to just sit there and be willing to turn and fight. With that Rod of Asclepius doing so much to augment that healing, and the amount of cooldown that Uzzy has is unbelievable. He's putting up these monoliths at a crazy high rate.
10,000 gold up already is SoaR. With this gold fury, it's going to go up even higher. They're 10 kills up. eLevate haven't been able to touch SoaR.
Still getting shut out right now, 10-0. And like you mentioned, over 10,000 gold, really 12,000 gold. In the lead is SoaR, 11,000 experience as well. They're looking like they're in a great spot to qualify for LAN next month.
You are not kidding. This is eLevate's game. They need to win this in order to go to LAN. This is also SoaR's game. It wasn't earlier because eLevate were looking prime and poised to go ahead and take that one game, just 1 out of 2, and go. But SoaR Gaming have completely stepped up. It was a little shaky in the first game, but look at the second one.
It took a little bit. It took 40+ minutes, but they were able to get it, and the momentum has continued. And looking back at the build from Niqued, it was building into the Soul Trap, looking for the Book or the Soul Reaver, like I mentioned, and then decided that he needed penetration right then and right now, and went for the Obsidian Shard, and now building Lost Artifact. I don't understand. I understand he's new to the mid lane, and that makes a lot of sense with the way he's building and playing so far this game on Scylla.
I think it's more of the guide too. 0, 4, and 0. These shots are really hard to hit on PC as well.
Great
Bruno Evil gonna come through, completely blocking off his exit with a Typhoon. The Demon Bag being opened as well. eLevate just having to dodge the damage, but once again, it's all centric around this cage.
Look at how much damage SoaR took, and he's still a quarter HP. So tanky on this Zhong going into the Silver Talisman as well. Chapo's not done. He's looking for the kill. Picks up KeegsMate. 13-0. SoaR leads.
Shaliber, I'm sorry, but you're Zhong, you're not going to be able to chase down Susano.
No, SoaR never going to catch him with an immobile god like Zhong up against the most mobile god in Susano. But it doesn't matter because SoaR now 5 members with the Coerce buff, pushing down this right-hand Phoenix, 3 dead still for eLevate.
Just waddle to the right side, do your job, take down that Phoenix, and then filter right back into the jungle. Or maybe even the Fire Giant if you're feeling frisky.
I think the Fire Giant's the right call here. I mean, Keegs is still down for another 25 seconds. McWafflez has a teleport and the Wrath, and that's really the only thing you have to worry about. Chapo just doing his job zoning here, keeping Niqued way away from this Fire Giant. The rest of SoaR starts it up.
We don't really see any steal potential aside from Odin, who does have the Wrath. McWafflez is here. That is going to be enough for them to stop, but he's already used the cage. That's his biggest trump card, and it's gone. Jumpahhh going to get taken out by Chapo, stuck between 3 members of the enemy team, and McWafflez going to have to jump away. That was a huge misplay using that cage.
Nothing he could do. He was just trying to save Jumpahh's life, but Jumpahhh was going to fall no matter what. Now McWafflez looking for it. Fear no evil. They're going to try and burn the Wrath away. They do it perfectly.
And there he goes. Chapo able to find the kill. Fire Giant still going on. Chapo able to find Niqued. Fire Giant still going on. Rippin able to find 1 kill. Finally put his team on the board after 26 minutes. But they're going to keep aggressing. Take out Rippin. That was his ultimate just to get a little bit of extra damage. But with the jump and the damage coming out from Shaliver, that's it. They're going to keep going. There's only 1 left. KeegsMate. And he's trying to disapparate away.
They're going to try and end the game here. SoaR looking to go to land. Keegs going to be the last one to try and defend his Titan. No, Jumpahhh has respawned. I don't know if SoaR can end quite yet. Huge Typhoon.
They have the potential, but the Typhoon is going to knock them back, and then the pull going to bring them right back in. Chapo going to fall for the 2nd kill for eLevate. The Titan is still falling. Got a little bit of health left, but Susano does have to back off Jumpahhh. That's going to be the leash, so instead, turn your sights to the Phoenix.
So actually, the monolith there created a wall that stopped the minions from coming in, which made them reset the Titan. Really unfortunate positioning overall. And funny enough, the first kill for eLevate, you mentioned it took about 26 minutes, and it was the Fire Giant who actually got the last hit. Rippin got credit, but it was the Fire Giant who finished off StormyRays, and then Chapo getting a little bit greedy, diving the Titan, trying to end the game, but it doesn't matter because eLevate is still in a bad spot, sitting down about 11,000 gold. They still got 2 Phoenixes down, their Titan's about half HP, and all of SoaR is coming up and ready to go on this Fire Giant.
They were in absolutely no position to try and punish SoaR for what they just did, because they can't fight back right now. eLevate still looking very passive. They can't do anything but react at this point, just because SoaR Gaming are going absolutely crazy.
And that's right, and they're trying to go crazy on this Fire Giant. StormyRays tanking it up, doing everything he can to get it low. Chapo on his way back from base, and it looks like eLevate's just trying their best to get Odin in. He's the Wrath. He's the one with the steal potential on this fire.
And the Wrath is really going to be the only thing that can steal it from them. Aside from the I'm a Monster, that has potential like a Wrath to steal the Fire Giant, but they're not going to be able to get close enough at this point. SoaR Gaming doing a very good job of zoning. Rippin getting close though, as is Odin, so Shaliber going to go ahead and throw the card on there, make him back off.
The amount of sustain from SoaR means that they are totally willing to take up this Fire Giant as long as necessary. Here's the commit from Odin. Double Fear No Evil. Gonna kill both instantly. I'm a Monster coming down. Doesn't find a target. Actually does. They didn't get the Fire Giant. I thought they stole that. That was close.
No, SoaR Gaming got it, and now Keegs gonna get stuck between a rock and a hard place. El Bro Chacho gonna be able to find the last hit. That was the Neith ultimate that stunned him out, but that was all Niqued not being able to get away. That's the double for Chapo, and there's nothing, literally nothing stopping them from taking this Titan. Everyone is gone. That's gonna be the surrender call. And SoaR going to land. Congratulations
to SoaR Gaming, an absolutely dominant performance in Game 2. 23-2 are the kills, coming out and showing everyone that they deserve to be the 4th seed coming into LAN.
What a ride, though. We had no idea who was going to be the seeding. We had no idea who was going to even go to LAN until this last game. Not even the last set, it's the last game.
Exactly, the last game of the last week in the SCL online portion. And again, your 4 teams coming to land. You can see it here. Return's going to be your top seed. Eager, Aware, and SoaR are going to finish in 4th place. Both eLevate and SoaR are tied with 12 points, but because SoaR has the head-to-head tiebreaker 3-1 during the online split, it'll be the boys from SoaR coming to land.
Because this 2-0 helped them find that, because we did have the previous split early on, because all teams face each other twice. So that 3-1 head-to-head will secure them their spot at land, but let's talk about that game real quick. It's a completely different story than what we saw in Game 1.
Exactly. Game 1, very back and forth. It was SoaR with the lead, then eLevate, and then SoaR win the game, and it was very, very close. It all came down to Keegs getting picked, pushing up that solo side fire wave, and then SoaR was able to end off that. But overall, I mean, at the end of the day, you wanted your star players to play really, really well. And in Game 2, it was Chapo who came up huge for SoaR. Top of the damage charts, played out of his mind on Batz.
Batz was good, as was Shaliber. Bringing out that Zhong in the second game, and then he played Chang'e in the first game. It was really nice. But here he is, Demon Bag ready to go ahead and release. Chapo just going forward a little bit, using that zoning
awesome.
at that point.
Such an awesome play there, using the teleport to go in as soon as the CC had been used. And it was Shaliber and Chapo working together. You could see they're always next to each other, and that's exactly what you want. Here was Niqued, who just gets deleted instantly by that.
We didn't even get to cast that because it happened so quickly. We flipped over to the camera, and then he was gone.
Goodbye.
Poof.
Disappeared off the face of the map, and that's the kind of strength that hi-rez, the Lament, can have on Batz. We didn't get to touch on it in the game, but that passive giving you extra power after using an ability on your next auto attack. If Batz is able to get a crit, which is his already passive, if you use your ability, use an auto attack after an ability, you get a crit chance. If you get a crit stacked with that hi-rez passive, things like that can happen. Mid laners go poof.
Exactly. You would know.
I would know. I went poof a lot. A lot.
Is that why you're a caster now?
Yes. That, and I just wanted to hang out with Tully all the time.
I understand that chest hair, though.
So amazing.
Okay, so we have our 4 teams going to LAN. Okay, these guys are going to go to LAN, fight for an opportunity to get to hi-rez Expo or Worlds. You can go to hi-rezexpo.com, meet all of us, meet Peckies, and even meet this right here. This aggro who carried me through this cast.
Hello, and Tully. He's the one I came here for, and you should come here for him as well.
Definitely. hi-rezexpo.com. Do you have any final thoughts before we leave?
Congratulations to the 4 teams coming to LAN. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the EU side tomorrow, but I'm excited to see all my friends from the console side return getting the first seed. I'm just excited that we're the online stage. We found out who the 4 teams are. It was long. It was very, very close, but 4 teams coming to LAN, and we'll see who's going to go to Worlds.
It was brought down to the wire, but we have our 4 NA teams tomorrow. Same time, same place, 1 p.m. EST. We're going to figure out who comes to LAN from the EU side. From everybody here at hi-rez, casters, me, Peckies, have a good night.
It's time for the Smite World Championship. The journey that these teams took here was one for the ages.
It's been a crazy year, and it's all led to this. Teams across the globe will take to the battleground of the gods to fight not just for the prize money, but title of the best Smite team in the world.
Welcome to the Smite World Championship!
Hey boy, nurse, let me get him more. Living life for the next drop.